We'll start with Onkar and Chinmatra. Hail. Okay, we'll get started with the Kapalbhati. So Kapalbhati, we are planning to do two types of Kapalbhati. First is through the right nostril only and through the left, and then the third will be the total Kapalbhati. So let's start. Close the left nostril, and then heavy bursts of air going out. So 20 into 1 on each side. Kapalbhati is one of the strong asanas, strong breathing practices. So make sure you use your tummy for breathing. So it has to be the lower abdomen that breathes air in and out. We'll close the right nostril. Next, through the both the nostrils. Next is we'll do heavy breathing, Bastrika. Bastrika is air in and out both at the same time. So bursts of air in and out. Again, 20 into 2. One more round. The next is more of meditational. So we'll do something called as Brahmari. So the Brahmari is closing your ears, eyes, nose, and mouth, and then taking a breath in first, and then closing all of this, and then chanting and then releasing your breath out. But when you chant keep your lips closed. It sounds like ma. Take a deep breath in, close mouth, we'll do it one more time. Ears closed with the thumb, eyes closed with the index, nose with the ring, and then mouth. So take a deep breath in, completely refreshes the brain. So let's start with asana. So before we start, let's do some warm up, make rotations, in and out breathing. Other side. So we'll do a quick round of Surya Namaskar as a part of warm up, and then we can get started with the regular asanas. Please stand where you are. If you're using the yoga mat, try to stand at the edge of the yoga mat. Stand at the tip of the yoga mat. Tip of the yoga mat. Hands folded. Back straight. Om Mitraya Namaha. Bend down, touch, go back, looking up to complete 4 hands on the plank pose. Next, Shashankasana. Next, go to the Ashtanga Namaskar. The key of Surya Namaskar is if you started at the end of the mat, you should again be back at the end of the tip of the mat itself. If you're gone back, that means you're not done some asanas correctly. So that's why you're inch backward or forward. If you go forward, it means you're overdone it. So that's a measure of Surya Namaskar. So with this one, we'll do a little slow to explain the steps and then we'll go faster. Om Ravaye Namaha. Hands back, touching the ears, back straight, back completely straight, and then go down and touch the feet, looking at the tip of the toes, hands next to the feet, right hand, right leg goes back, the knee doesn't touch the ground, looking up in the air, get the complete stretch, and then the plank pose, keep the back and hips in a straight line, and then Shashankasana, bend the knees, go down, next, go down, knees, just raise up, only the knees, only the toes touch the ground, knees are not on the ground. Feet touching the ground, still touching the chest. The right leg comes back. Check yourself if you've done it correctly. Again, the knees are not touching the ground. Let's go faster. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaya Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. मरीचे नमः। ओम आद्याय नमः। ओम सवित्रे नमः। Make sure you're still coming to the end of the yoga mat. ओम अर्काय नमः। ओम भास्कराय नमः। ओम श्री सवित्र सूर्य नारायणाय नमः। So we'll start the relaxing yoga. So come to Vajrasana. So we'll relax in Balasana. So Balasana is hands down, sorry, Shashankasana. And then raise your hands forward, relax. Right. And then we have the last type of pranayam to cool the body, and then we'll go to the regular sitting asana. Okay, so the last is the Shithali pranayam. So roll your tongue forward, take a deep breath in, and exhale through the nose. Do it 3 times. Next, roll your tongue horizontally. Back straight. Last time. Next is southern thing. Close your teeth together and then inhale. Back straight. Okay, so let's get back to our asanas. Sitting asana. So let's go to the basic sitting pose, tabletop pose. So we'll do an exercise that hits the core of the body, and it's called power muktasana. Spread your legs forward, right leg, sorry, backward, and then look straight. Left leg, left hand goes forward. Pull both side. Stretch. Try to pull the legs. Last time. Now the other leg. Stretch it. Stretch the leg. Take the hand forward. Get the full stretch. Next again in Marjanasana. Hip distance feet. And then inhale. Push your hips down. Exhale. Pull your hips down. Exhale. Exhale. Try to touch the chin to the chest. Last time. And then next is from here we'll do Parvatasana. Parvatasana is from here, raise your feet, stand on your feet, and ears go between your shoulders and pull your hip back. Knees are straight. Pull the hip back. Next we'll do Purvathana and Paschimottanasana. So we'll sit in the straight position. Hands backward, pointing backward or forward based on how it comforts you. Back is straight. Hand is next to the hips. Inhale and raise your hand. Make yourself comfortable and pull the hip up. The beauty of the asana is pulling the hip up as much as possible. Next, Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana is head to the knees. So let's go slow. If you can't hold this, hold somewhere near the knees, like this. But try every second to get an extra stretch. Making yourself comfortable in this uncomfortable posture and trying to go a little further to make more uncomfortable. Feel that stretch in the lower back that runs all the way through your back. Slowly go down. Okay. So sitting pose, we'll do with Baddha Konasana. So try to get your heels as close as possible. Pull your heels completely inside and then back is straight. Keep the back completely straight. Looking straight. Couple of breaths in, deep breaths. Now hold the toes and try to touch the thighs to the ground. Still keeping the back straight. The feet has to be as deep as inside. It has to be completely touching the ground. That's the ideal state. If not, at least the closest. Now slowly go forward. Touch your head to the toes. This is a very good stretch for the hips. and the thigh region. Especially if you're sitting down on the ground for a large part of the day, then this is very helpful. Okay, we'll go to the next asana, that is variations. First, we'll start with Kandharasana. We'll go to the Setubadhasana, and then the complete Setubadhasana. So let's start with Kandharasana. So Kandharasana is laying down, get closer, hold the ankle. Feet are placed at a hip distance. Grasp your ankle completely. Look up, relax. Kandharasana is a very good exercise for the neck. Gives you a very good stretch on the necks, on the lower neck. Inhale, pull your abdominal, the hip region up and pull it up. Now, pull your hips up, neck resting only on the shoulder. The more you pull up the hips, slowly come down. We'll do faster Kandharasana. 1, 2, 1, 2. Stretch it, stretch it. Last time, stretch down. Next is Setubadhasana. So we'll make the body like a bridge. So raise the hips and put the crown of the head on the ground and hands forward. Next is relax again in Virasana, sitting half Vajrasana, hands in elbow on the knees, and then this hand pulling the knee down or knee up, and this hand pushing the chin up. It's a complete stretch, pull and push, slow breathings. Change, stretch. Next is we'll do Dhanpadasana first, and then we'll go to the Vajrasana series. So we still have some time. Dhanpadasana is the left leg stays straight, the right leg hold the heel, back straight as usual. Try to get the heel as close as possible and remain straight. Now slowly raise the feet up. Knees are straight. If you can't hold the feet, try to if you can't keep the knees straight, try to keep it bent, but every day try to inch it forward. Back and forth. 1, 2, 1, And then finally, back straight again on the other leg. Raise it. Make yourself comfortable. Swing. Slowly go. Next is Vajrasana series. I just want to make sure. Next is Vajrasana series. So the first one is we'll sit in the Vajrasana. So we'll sit in the Vajrasana. Vajrasana is toes together. Make a seat with your hips, with your feet, and then seated there. And then the first one is bending forward. So take the Bhimudra. So fists inside, and then it goes all the way at the groin. Completely exhale. Touch the forehead to the ground. The next step would be touching to the knees. So knees closed if possible. Hands going into the groin. Puts a lot of stress on your abdomen. Next, hold your feet behind and forward, forehead to the ground. Slowly come back. Now we'll do twisting asana in the Vajrasana. So Vajra Bhuna Manama. So sitting in the Vajrasana itself, twist and then go down. Next is Supta Vajrasana. So Supta Vajrasana is you're hiding the Vajrasana. So the way you hide the Vajrasana is go and slip backward. And then hands also get folded on the hind side. And then hands folded up. Relax. Next, put the head, crown of the head on the ground and touch the knee. Release the Vajrasana. Next, relaxation pose. Lay on the side. Complete side. Make sure your body is straight. It's completely straight. The moment you become completely straight, you become unstable. If you are finding it very stable, then you probably have not kept your body straight. You get a very good stretch if your body is completely straight and become unstable. Next, it is the regular gym pose. Hands side, stay on the side. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, vinyasa variation in this. 1, 2, stretch, keep the body straight. Completely on the side. Adjust yourself completely on the side. Make sure body unstable. Get the good stretch. Get the stretch. And then hands on the side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fast. 1, 2, 6, 8, 10. Okay, we have a couple of vinyasa poses. So we'll start with the vinyasa pose of the chair vinyasa pose. So let's start with that. So sit in the Malasana first. Comfort yourself there. And then this is the seating starting part of the seating pose. From here, we'll go to the Utkatasana. Utkatasana is the chair pose. You're pretend there is a chair and then you're sitting in the chair pose. And then standing up and going down. So you're not raising yourself complete up, but going forward. So here, 1, is still sitting on the chair and down. Hands. 1, so let's go to Shavasana. Lie down on your back, feet apart, hands apart, completely rested. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your consciousness back. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Eyes closed. Turn to your side. Supported. Sit up. In Pranam Mudra. We'll chant Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina together. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. Any feedback or any suggestions? Okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good day.